Hey guys, welcome to my channel for the watch. It's your girl Miss K, and today I'm going to be going over the latest episode of From season 3, episode number 3, called Mousetrap. Let's get into it, guys. So the episode starts off with Jim feeding into that weird phone call that he got by his so-called son, Thomas, okay? Now, Thomas tells Jim that he shouldn't let Ethan and Julie be outside too close to dark, which is very true. So he goes outside frantically and he's yelling, "What are you guys doing?" And he's like, "Come on, let's go." So you see Boyd is, he's walking through the town and he's ringing the bell like he normally does because he's letting people know it's time to get ready to get inside, okay? But he also asked Jim, "Is everything okay?" Jim kind of snaps at him and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to get my kids. I'm talking to my kids or whatever." And then he apologizes and he says to Boyd, "Is everything okay?" Or are things getting worse or something, he asked him, and Boyd didn't say anything. So Jim was like, "Yeah, like, yep, I know stuff is getting worse." Okay, now let's talk about Boyd and Ellis, who are in the sheriff's office, right? So Boyd is trying to explain to Ellis that they can't keep going on without trying to find out more info about the night creatures. Then Donna comes in, and after she insists that they let her know what's going on, Boyd tells her, right? But after hearing that he doesn't really have a plan, she tells Boyd to let it go, okay? She also tells Ellis not to encourage his father and just leave it alone because he has a child on the way. You got other things to worry about, okay? But we know that Boyd is not giving up on this because he is sick and tired of losing people, all right? It's time for some answers. So a part of Boyd's plan is that if they use the talisman to keep the creatures out, then maybe they could use the talisman to keep them in as well. But still, it's a half-baked plan, okay? So next, Fatima continues to have her weird cravings for rotten veggies, but this time she's caught by the older woman, and honestly guys, I totally forgot her name. But she seems to understand and goes to Fatima's room to explain that she had weird cravings when she was pregnant as well. Next, a group of residents from the colony house go out to the woods to gather more food from the area that Jim and Kenny came across. Of course, Kenny is leading the pack, but not everyone is happy to be out there. But, they were picked randomly as they drew straws, okay? So anyway, once they get to the area where the food and shelter is close by, they also see the wooden figures, and it creeps some of them out. Now, Jade points out that the wooden figures may have been used to ward off evil spirits in the same way they used the talisman, and Jade observes this by looking at the position of the wooden figures. And I'm like, yeah, we need somebody like Jade out there, you know what I'm saying, who thinks the way he does. Next, Ethan done lost all hope, okay guys, because at this point he assumes his mom is dead. He starts asking who's gonna bury her, and Jim says, "Don't talk like that." But Ethan keeps going on and he's like, "But what if bugs and spiders get to her body and she turns into a skeleton and no one recognizes her?" I mean, he was doing a bit too much for me, guys. I understand that he's a kid, but he's a smart kid, okay? And he was making his dad and even Julie uncomfortable, right? With the whole morbid thoughts, right? But on top of that, it was the fact that Jim told him to stop, okay? So he really should have stopped, but he just kept on going. Unfortunately, when he didn't stop, Jim lashed out at him and Ethan ran out of the kitchen. So Julie goes after him, but before she leaves, she says to her father, "You're really going for Parent of the Year, aren't you?" And I'm not gonna lie, Julie has been walking around acting real funky, and she continues to give Jim the cold shoulder, and I'm a little tired of it, because with the situation that they're in, she shouldn't take life for granted, okay? But anyway, we see in a later scene that Ethan continues to be pessimistic when he tells Boyd that he should probably give up hope regarding his mother's safe return, okay? Poor baby. That Ethan, he's really going through too much for his age, right? His mind is just, he's trying to process it the best way he can, and it's just not good for him right now. Next, Henry shows Tabitha a bottle tree in his backyard. He tells her that it's just a replica and the original one is in a park about 30 to 40 minutes away. So Tabitha was like, "Okay, you got to take me there now." And Henry's like, no, you got to get some sleep. You're not going to do anyone any good if you don't get no sleep. Because, he invested now. Like, all the stuff that they've been talking about and everything that's been said by his ex-wife, well, not ex-wife, his deceased wife, Miranda, and everything. Like, the stuff is tying in too much to what Tabitha has been telling him. So now he got high hopes and he ready to see his son, okay? So he like, listen, girl, you need to get your rest. And she's like, no, I'm not going to go to the hospital again. I need you to take me. So that's that, right, guys? So next, Victor goes to Sarah's house and tells her that they need to build a fort and he needs to tell her a story, okay? So I guess we'll have to just stay tuned for that because they never got to it. But whatever it is, it's probably something that he should have said a long freaking time ago, okay, guys? Because something tells me that Victor been sitting on a wealth of information, maybe something valuable. Okay, next, Fatima tells the older woman that she feels alone because she can't talk to anyone and she doesn't want to talk to Ellis because he's finally in a happy place. I want to say the lady's name is Betty, guys, but I really don't know, okay? I forgot. Okay, anyway, she tells the older woman that she just wants to know if the baby is okay. So the older lady was like, okay, let's find out. And that's when she pulls out the tarot cards. Now, Fatima objects at first and she was kind of insulted because she feels like the lady was, playing it for some type of game. But then the lady explains that they really helped her at one point in her life, right? So Fatima says, okay. Now, anyway, guys, when it was time to do the reading of the tarot cards, the older lady wasn't able to complete it because a bird banged into the freaking window, okay? And then when she tried to proceed, it then flew into the house. I'm talking about like crashed through the window and everything, flew in like a bat out of hell, okay? And that was super creepy too, because to me, that might mean that the baby isn't okay. I mean, I figured the baby isn't okay anyway because she over there eating rotten foods, okay? So that's my take. Next, back in the woods, Jade is seeing things and he wants to go back to town. Meanwhile, Christy was getting on Kenny's nerve because she was just trying to, do a mental check on him. But Kenny was like, you're wasting time trying to talk to me. Like, get your bag, fill it up, do your freaking job because we're losing daylight. And I agreed with him because now is not the time, boo. Like, we're on a mission, okay? So Jade comes through yelling about how he could leave if he wants to and all this stuff. And he lets it be known that he tried to help out, but he doesn't like it here, okay? And he walks off and Christy tries running after him because the concern is that he won't make it back to town before it gets dark, okay? Remember, everybody in this town, they really care about each other. Mostly everybody, okay? So Christy is trying to go after him. She's really trying to stop it because she doesn't think that he'll get to the safety point in time, okay? So as Christy is chasing after Jade, her foot gets caught in a trap. So now they got to figure out how to get her foot loose before nightfall. And I was like, oh my gosh, great, okay? Because it's like, we don't need this extra bull crap. So I was kind of scared, okay? But thankfully it worked out, okay? Now, it's a good thing that she wasn't out there alone, though. I'll tell you that, okay? Next, Elgin is finally getting some rest, which is good. I hope, because, he has really bad dreams, okay? But that crazy bird done came in and woke him up. But, hopefully we get a little more from him because we've been getting like little cameos of him at this point, okay? Now, next, Boyd goes to the bus to tell Randall that he wants to trade places with him for the night because he wants to watch the creatures when they come out at night and he wants to see what they're up to, okay? Next, Henry and Tabitha are on their way to the tree, but she finds a bracelet in the glove compartment that looks just like the bracelet that she gave to Jim. So now she starts flipping out thinking that it's been a trick the whole time, and this town in Maine is just an extension of the torturous town, okay? She tells Henry to pull over and threatens to get out. But Henry starts freaking out, telling her that she can't do this. You can't just show up and tell me my son is alive and now you want to leave and just give up like that. I was totally feeling what he was saying. I really was, But in Tabitha's defense, there were too many weird things happening, okay? When they got in the car, her and Jim's song started playing on the radio. Then she finds the bracelet that she made Jim in the glove compartment. But Henry tells her that Miranda made it for him. So I get why Tabitha becomes suspicious, right? So she was like, you done screwed up now, okay? This was your mistake. I don't want to play this game. What happens if I get out the car and I decide not to play and all this stuff? So Henry is like, I ain't playing with you, girl. Like, he tries to drive off. He's like, we're going to that tree. So he tried to drive off before Tabitha could get out of the car, and bam, okay, they get hit by another car. Next thing you know, they're in an ambulance, and poor Henry, he ain't doing too good, guys. But the worst part is that the ambulance comes across the infamous tree in the road. And I was like, OMG. Now, I did say that this was the worst part of it, but to be really honest, was it though? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a good thing for Julie to get back to her family, you know? Plus, having an ambulance pull up into town is good too, because I'm sure they need more medical supplies, you know? However, you know, I do understand that while Julie definitely wanted to get back to her family, she also wanted to come back with answers. So I totally get that, right? But anyway, guys, that is how the episode ended. And I can't wait to see what happens next week, okay? Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, take care and be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.